Hello, lovelies. It's Monica. I'm back with another true crime story. Today is a little different. I'm going to be talking about two mysterious deaths that happened in South Africa. When I heard about this, I was blown away. My mind was boggled because there is no way that where these two men were found, they were not murdered. Remember, this is for educational and documentary purposes only. Please be nice in the comments down below. You never know if one of the victim's family member has watched this video. Imagine yourself going to a hospital because you broke something or you needed surgery, but then all of a sudden you go missing. That's what happened to these two men. Now, this is in South Africa. I'm going to try my best to pronounce these men's names correctly. Please forgive me if it's not perfect. The first one that we have happened in 2017. A father of 6, Tatike Gunsa, was found 13 days after he disappeared from the hospital ward. He was admitted to the hospital on October 5th, 2017, after he underwent abdominal surgery, which then he was placed in a room in Stellenbosch Hospital in a South African town. Now, the Western Cape Health Department said a nurse attending him had gone to get clean linen, and Gunsa had disappeared when she returned. He was found 13 days later when workers were doing renovations in a different part of the hospital. His brother, Christmas, yes, his name is Christmas, I think that is so cool, said he could not walk because of the operation they did on him. So after he had his surgery, his abdominal surgery, if you've had abdominal surgery, you had C-section, you understand it's very hard to walk. It hurts so bad. His brother said what shocked the family is the discovery of his body in an area where he was found after he had disappeared for almost 2 weeks. We have not gone to the hospital to determine what exactly happened yet. We have been asked to go to the hospital around 8 o'clock, establish what happened and what was going to happen, and the family is not happy. We don't know where to start because we were under the impression he was safe where he was, said his brother, adding they were struggling with funds, Gunsa's burial in the Eastern Cape. We received a phone call on October 7th asking us if he was not at home. We told them that he was at the hospital. They said he was not there. He had left. We then rushed to the hospital. One of the nurses that had last seen him around 5:15 a.m., they all searched inside and outside the hospital. We then came back with the police the following day. They found nothing. His brother just disappeared and they didn't know where he went. But then, 13 days later, his lifeless body would be found. Get this, y'all. This is what blows my mind. In the ceiling, in an isolated area of the hospital. He was found dead in the ceiling of the hospital, and no one saw nothing at all. Despite an investigation and an autopsy being carried out, the question remains, what happened to him? Tatike lived in a suburb of Kalmadi in Stellenbosch, South Africa. He was a father of 6, and he was 61 years old, and he wasn't expecting that he was going to go into the hospital and then never come out. He was found on October 20th by a group of workers doing renovations at the hospital. Everyone was baffled. How had his body gotten up there? Did he somehow crawl up there and die? Did somebody put him up there? I think it's the latter. His family is very upset, and all they want is for the hospital to take responsibility. He was under their care when he died. All we wanted was for him to get help. They must contribute to his burial, his brother said. A health spokesperson, Mark van der Heever, said hospital management had been in contact with the family and would meet with them when autopsy results were available. The department conveys its heartfelt condolences to the family of the deceased and extends our trauma and counseling services to them during this difficult time. That's bullshit. He had 6 children that he needed to take care of. and there was no reason why something happened or he passed away. And especially, who the hell stuffed him in the ceiling? Who killed him? Been more than 2 years since he passed away, and his brother, Christmas, said that they were losing hope, and no one has answers for us. The family has accused the health department and police of keeping them in the dark about what happened to their family member. All we want is answers from the hospital about what happened to our brother. That will give us closure, Christmas said. The family said the hospital never informed them of their brother's disappearance and did little search for him. His brother said even the officer assigned to the case lost interest. I have met with his daughter and she agreed with the possibility of taking legal action against the hospital. The medical manager, Dr. Richard Davids, of the hospital, said, "We have extensively communicated around this issue. That's all we will say. There has been communication with the family." And then he didn't want to talk anymore and referred questions to someone else. When David's statement was put out, his brother and his daughter said, "That's lies. They only met when we went to the hospital after the death, just once. They will never say that to our faces. They didn't even bother informing police about his disappearance. We did." And the daughter said that the investigator told them that her father died of natural causes and there was nothing they could do. And they said that the autopsy showed that Gunsam died of natural causes, supposedly. They told them that their relative had not died from complications in the abdominal surgery procedure and vaguely implied that his death was not from natural causes, supposedly. His family was also apparently given the impression that he was found to have been placed in the ceiling after he was already dead. The hospital said that they were waiting for more autopsy reports before revealing any more information, and the matter was quickly snapped up for investigation by the local police department. And that's where it's been left. They've never found out what happened to him, ever. And that was in 2017 he was found in the ceiling. It just blows my mind that who did that to him? Someone killed him and put him up there. But the thing is that this happened again, but in a different hospital in South Africa. Is there like a serial killer going around? Or was it a lack of health practice or malpractice and he passed away and the hospital was trying to cover it up, so they decided to put him in the ceiling? It makes no sense, y'all. I cannot wrap my head around it. That's why I had to tell y'all about this. All right, well, it happens again. And it happens again only 2 years later, in 2019, to Sandile Sibia. He came to Durban's Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital with a broken femur on May 10th, 2019. But days later, Sibia was set to be transferred to the nearby Adiding Hospital to see an orthopedic doctor. The man from Unicoeye was nowhere to be found. So, he went to the hospital, Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital, with a broken femur. And when they went to go to his room to transfer him to another hospital with like a more well-equipped doctor to help him with his femur, he was missing. Just disappeared. The security staff scorned the hospital grounds, said the KwaZulu-Natal Health Department this week. With nowhere else to look, it seemed, staff opened a missing persons case to the South African Police Department till someone stumbled upon a hospital closet with a suspicious leak. An unbearable stench intensified at the hospital. Eventually, it led to a storeroom, where fluid dripping from the ceiling provided the telltale signs that something was amiss. She added, the search eventually led to his decomposed body. Although initial media reports claim that Sibia was a mental health patient at the hospital and the health department says this is untrue. Find out why an otherwise healthy man, a builder no less, with a broken leg would end up dead among the ceiling panels of the Seaside Hospital. State Forensic Services will be performing an autopsy on the body before delivering a report to his family. Meanwhile, the health department expects to release its preliminary findings on the incident. Police have also opened a docket in relation to the case. While the mystery around the discovery continues to swirl, they have tightened security measures at the hospital. and they had a security guard in every unit. For instance, runaway patients, it argues, would only go unnoticed if they were to slip into normal clothes during busy visiting hours. But a 2016-17 report from Office of Health Standards found that hospitals in KwaZulu-Natal only met half of its safety and security standards for health facilities. Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Hospital, however, was not among those facilities surveyed as part of the report. So, there were a number of hospitals that were not secure enough, and the report didn't even have this hospital on it. That's so crazy. The report found that a number of hospitals and clinics did not have a security policy in place, and that often there was no record of how security incidents were resolved. They said that while police were investigating, the department would also internally probe what happened and would provide a preliminary report. And she said, "We will not hesitate to take the strongest possible action should anyone be found guilty of any form of wrongdoing." She said that people tend to flock to hospitals because they believe they will get better service compared to what they will get at a clinic. And then she said that, don't be scared to go use a clinic, because people were getting scared in the community to go to their hospitals and stuff because people were being found in the ceiling, dead, when they shouldn't have been. The man had a broken femur. He couldn't even walk. How did he end up in a ceiling? His angry family want answers after he was found in the ceiling. His sister, Dudu, said that they rushed her brother, Sandile, to the hospital on May 9th. She said he had a leg fracture after a wall collapsed on him when he was helping their neighbor fix his house. He was last seen on May 11th when some family members visited him in the hospital. They asked about his whereabouts when they found out his bed was empty and were told he might have been transferred to another hospital. Said they asked the hospital to check the neighboring hospitals, but no hospitals had accepted the transfer of a patient under his name. Voodoo said that they learned in the news that a body was discovered in the hospital ceiling. "We did so. That is when we saw that the dead person was indeed our loved one." She said they identified him by a scar on his forehead. "The hospital must tell us how he died and ended up in the ceiling with a fractured leg, which suggests he couldn't get up there on his own." She said that the department and cops were investigating and they would take action if any wrongdoing was found, but they denied the family permission to view the body, saying that they needed an advocate from the cops. Now, I understand that some, like a murder victim or whatever, it's kind of like their evidence, I guess, in a murder case. And maybe they thought that, oh, you can't do, but that's not how it usually happens. Usually you have to go and identify the body. This is who this is. This is who died. And it has to be by a loved one. And that blows my mind that they wouldn't let them see him. They would not let them see him. That was all the information I could find about these cases on the internet. It's hard because it is in a different country, and I do not have researchers and stuff. It's just little old me over here trying to find all this information. I just want to talk about it. How did these two men end up dead in the ceiling of a hospital 2 years apart? And I was talking to my husband too about this case, and he said, have they checked to see if one worker had been at both hospitals eventually, and at the same time that these people have died? Maybe they have a serial killer in their midst. And I've not heard anything else that there has been any more deaths, but sometimes countries don't want other countries to know, and they don't really give the information out. So there could be more deaths like this. I have no idea. But these are the only two that I have found. It's just such a mystery that these two people should have not been able to physically walk or get up or take care of themselves because they were hurt. And they end up dead. And it's things that they shouldn't have died from. And then supposedly it was just natural causes. That blows my mind. Something happened. Someone came in. They could have easily put something into their IVs and killed them and then shoved them in the ceiling. This is just speculation. It's my opinion. Allegedly. I'm just trying to throw out what could have happened. It's not talked a lot. I think I've seen one other video on YouTube about this. And I just want to tell their families I'm very sorry for y'all's loss. That has got to be the most scariest thing ever, especially never to trust another hospital ever again. Because we go to hospitals to get better and to rely on the people there. They have their best interest for our health, not kill us. And there have been other healthcare murderers out there. I'm telling you, a lot. And I know y'all probably heard the stories. I just want to bring light to these cases. That this weird thing happened in South Africa. Bad things happen all over the world. This is a shorter video. I just want y'all to know I love y'all and thank you for watching. I will see y'all in June with my next case. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe.
Tell me, was it worth it? My